I put this together so that you can have a reference for when you're working on word problems, so that hopefully it'll be easier for you to write equations or inequalities as you're reading through the problem description. There are some keywords to look at, to recognize as to what sort of mathematical operations you would use. And there are generally 3 types of equations that you'll have. Many times you have an equation that represents the total number of something. So a quantities equation. For this example that I put together, let's say I have 3 sweaters and 2 hats. Then altogether I have 5 items, something like that. If you have a money equation, you could incorporate the dollar amount with whatever your variables represent. So let's say I have sodas and they cost 50 cents. And then, so X represents the number of sodas. So 50 cents each times the number of sodas, plus $1.25 each times the number of hamburgers I sold. And altogether, I know how much money I raised, but I don't know how many hamburgers there were and how many sodas there were. And this is how that equation would look. Also, you could have a comparison equation, and these sometimes give people the most trouble. What if I said that 2 times the number of hamburgers I sold was equal to 3 more than the number of sodas I sold, or something like that? You would write this as you read through the problem. So write it in the order in which the information is presented. So in general, when you're writing equations and inequalities, I would say read the problem to find what information is given. We need to know what you know. What do you know? The more you know. You can underline, highlight, circle important numbers and information. Also, what don't you know? What is the question asking? What do you need? Once you know what you have and what you don't have, you need to be very specific and clearly define your variables. So choose letters to represent your unknown things. The more specific you are, the easier it'll be to use those variables for whatever it is they represent. So be very clear. Then you use your variables and the information you know to write equations or inequalities. And we write these by translating what information is given into mathematical numbers, operations. Write the equations or inequalities in the same order that the information is given. Then you solve. And finally, you describe your solution in context. Use units. Write out a sentence to explain your answer. Word problems should have words in the answer.